Hello and welcome to Qsports. I'm Umudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. Coming up tonight on Qsports, we're talking about football first, and also we'll be talking about karate. We will also be talking about some 6 Gambian players who went to Turkey to get their trials done at Fenerbahce Football Club. We'll tell you about that story as well. But our main discussion is about cycling, because a retired cyclist is with me in the studio, Ibra Tal. He will take us through his cycling journey. It was in the 80s, so how popular was cycling at the time? We'll talk to him about that. But first, on Qsports, let's talk about the Gambia national under-20 team. They're currently in Egypt, playing in the Africa Cup of Nations under-20 competition, where they opened their first match with a victory. They played against Tunisia, and they won by a 0-0, a goal scored in the 84th minute by the team captain, that is Sen, Captain Sen, who had a fantastic header and got the Gambia all 3 points. That is Alaji Sen, the captain of the Gambia under-20 team in that competition. So it means currently as it stands, unless something happens in the other match, they are on top after 1 game in Group C. Now, let's talk about karate in the Gambia. Busumbala, to be precise. The Busumbala Karate Club celebrated 20 years. It was founded in 2003, and their motivation and what they want to do to inspire kids, to give them that discipline and teach them how to defend themselves, because they said karate is a fight, but fight in a very positive way. That is how you're going to defend yourself. Also, there are some health benefits and physical exercise. We were there at the celebrations, and this is some of the things that happened there. You would find it very interesting. Busumbala Karate Club members commemorated their 20th anniversary with a beautiful display of karate skills in front of hundreds of spectators. More than 150 young males and females showed their skills in body flexing, movement, and self-defense. One of the most eye-catching displays was the show of VIP protection. All the bodyguards had toy pistols in their side holsters on the trousers. As we've seen in films, the simulation showed a group of armed men attacked to either kidnap or kill a VIP. These bodyguards reacted quickly to save the VIP with their skills, even though they were in the line of fire, emerging unscathed. Several martial art clubs were also invited to show their skills. Among them was the Kung Fu clubs and athletes of the Gambia Kung Fu Federation. They put on a show of body flexing, acting like a snake, and acrobatic jumps and gymnastics. Al-Hussein Tarawale, master and trainer of the Busumbala Karate Club, says it was pleasing to witness the 20th anniversary. He added that since the club was founded in 2003, he has been teaching discipline, hard work, and the importance of physical exercise.
Mol katenkune ika diningol kakulu ika sobeya muta ika alfal bunya ndongol setala yo wala okay karate min fenna tibi yalon ko kele karan wala braman ke komi ika karane pour kata kelola bari pour que ifam protect lemu aninke balo bambandi yo aninka kulu ke.
We want karate to spread across the country because it will instill discipline in people and reduce crime. Karate is a fight, but we don't train people to go out and fight in the streets. Instead, we teach you discipline, self-defense, and the importance of physical exercise. 2 members of the Busumbala Karate Club, Khadijatu Ka and Binta Jeng, shared their experiences of being part of the club.
Jangal nama lu bari nak, jangal nama discipline, daf la day jangal discipline, respect, ak lu bari dal, lo xamantene do xé ci yoon bi.
Karate taught me to be disciplined and be respectful and not to fight in the streets.
Karate nekut pour he su nekkee nit ñi dañ dé wax né karate pour he la waye karate nekut pour he pour respect kessé la ak defense sa bop lool kessé la benefit bobu tamit su nekkee man time bobu dama don am bopa bu metti waye depuis ma duggé kum karate ay sport ni suma bopa bu metti bi dafa wañé.
People say karate teaches you to fight, but I disagreed. It is a sport that teaches you respect and self-defense. I have benefited a lot from karate since joining the club. My health and my well-being has improved. I used to suffer a lot from headache, but now that has drastically reduced.
Judging by the participants and audience, the popularity of the sport seems assured.
Oh, I block you and I kick you.
We say congratulations to Busumbara Karate Club for celebrating their 20th anniversary there. They've been in existence since 2003, and I'm sure you must have watched the reaction there, especially those who are members of the club, talking about it teaches them discipline and also self-defense. So in terms of physical exercise, it also helped them to be very active people. Now, let's talk about 6 Gambian players who are on trials with Fenerbahce Football Club. Well, the latest is 2 of them have signed contracts. We don't know the details of the contract, but these 6 players were scouted initially in the Gambia in December last year by Fenerbahce scouts who came to the Gambia, and a football competition was organized among 18 teams that took part in that competition, also more than 400 players. So they scouted these 6 players. Initially, in fact, it was 10, but they decided to go with the 6 players, and 2 of them, we understand, signed contracts. But to talk about the details of that, we spoke to Sadibu Kamaso, who is the one coordinating the trials, and he gave us some of the details. Pleasure to have Mr. Sadibu Kamaso, the head of Team Restore Confidence, also a football person, has been in football, been Secretary General of Hawks Football Club. I would say he's been in football all his life. So just recently, a few days ago, maybe 2 days, he's been in Turkey with some 6 Gambian young footballers. They're actually there for a purpose, but I would not let the cat out of the bag, even though I know a little bit of the story, but I'll give him the opportunity to give us a gist of why did he travel to Turkey with these players.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Gajaga, and good evening to everyone that's watching or listening to this program. It's a pleasure to be here today. As you've already highlighted, I'm in Istanbul. I've been here since Sunday, and we're here for a purpose, and that is to bring, about 6 players, actually 6 players to have, a tryout with Fenerbahce Football Club. This is after a very successful scouting program we did in December. I think you happened to cover that in Banjul.
Yes, I covered the opening. Yes, the first day.
Exactly. We invited about 18 clubs who came to showcase their talents, and the scouts of Fenerbahce and also Frosinone from Italy were there to identify the young players that they feel can, be given the opportunity to play in their clubs. So after having done the scouting program, 10 players were actually, selected, but unfortunately only 6 were able to get their documentation ready. And here we are. They're in Istanbul, and they're actually at the Fenerbahce training complex, doing the needful, and then they'll, identify those that they feel that are okay to continue, and then they'll take it from there.
Okay, Sadibu, just to be clear, so it's trial. They came over here, that's the scouts themselves. They watch these players play. For them, they're impressive, as a matter of what they're looking for exactly. So they invited them over to come on a trial. So a trial sort of is, you go over there and show what you are made of. And if they found out that they got the qualities that they're looking for, and it can lead to signing of a professional contract.
Yes, but see, when they came to Gambia in December, most of these clubs only had like an hour, 30 minutes to, an hour to show what they can, what they had. And they were happy with some of them, which resulted to some being invited for a second day. Normally how this trial works is they look at these players and then they identify, and then a smaller group is invited for the last day. And out of this, 2 of them, as I had said in one of my interviews, are going to sign their contract subject to medical, of course, because they'll do their medicals, and once they found to be fit, they will sign their contracts. They're all amateur for now. The other 6, they still want to see them again, because they saw them. The other 4 actually, they saw them, but they still want to see them again to be able to prove that they indeed fit to play in, in the matches or the teams that they want them to play. So 2 of them will sign subject to medical. Once they pass their medical, they're going to sign their amateur contracts because they're still amateur. And then the other 4, if they're okay as well, if they're happy with them, they'll, give them the opportunity to sign their contracts. But what we do at our level is to provide the platform, invite these, scouts, invite these clubs to come and see these kids, because it's difficult convincing people that Gambia has talent. It's a lot of convincing, you have to do a lot of convincing for these people to come to Gambia to see that these kids have talents. So it took a while before we were able to convince them. And for the first time Fenerbahce came to Gambia, they were happy with what they saw. And I mean, even here in Istanbul, the story is all over the place. And, we do not want to let the cat out of the bag, but there's a lot in, that's going to come in the future, inshallah.
Yes, these players in front of me, I'm seeing somebody like Alaji Cherno Job, Cherno Sao, Ametijan Savage, Omar Baji, Suleiman Jallo, and Omar Sise. Are they from clubs or academies, or most of them are from football clubs that play in the elite division, the first and the second division of Gambia?
Different categories. We have a player from the first division, another from the second division. Omar Sise is from B4 UK and West. One of the best players in the second division at the moment. Ametijan Savage is goalkeeper for Walidan. I mean, they call him Elastic. One of the finest goalkeepers at the moment. We also have, 2 other players that are from Latikunda Giants Academy. And, we have another one from Raptim Jag, from Blackpool. We have other players, from other clubs that, that had already been identified. But due to paperwork, as I said, some of them are not ready. And from this, we have another list that is supposed to go to Italy, because we had 2 different groups that were in town.
Yeah.
There's some that we're working on their paperwork for them to go to Italy. So this is the Turkish contingent. There's another team that is supposed to go to Italy once we finalize the paperwork. But yeah, they're from different categories, from first division.
Yes, that's my interview with Sadibou Kamaso. We understand there have been some developments since then. 2 of the players signed, and we will bring you the details of their contracts, what sort of contracts they've signed with the club, and if they are going to go into the reserve teams or maybe into the academies, and until when they sign proper professional contracts there in that trials with Fenerbahce. We'll also bring you the details of the other trial which is supposed to happen with Italian clubs. Now let's talk about cycling. With me in the studio is Ibra Tal. He was a cyclist before. This was way in the 80s, 1984. He completed a cycling journey from Sibanor all the way to Banjul. And also the following year, he also had another cycling tour, which is all the way from Buyam to Banjul. So quite very interesting. I covered cycling sometime last year. That is exactly on Independence Day. That journey took us from Kalaji all the way to Banjul at the McCarthy Square, to be precise. More than 160 kilometers. I couldn't believe it. I was part of the journey. Maybe Ibra can take us through about what sort of endurance do cyclists have to cycle all that distance. Yours was between Sibanor to Banjul. Even that is more than 100 kilometers.
Yes. Good evening, all Gambians here in diaspora. Good evening, QTV crew, sports journalist of the year, Mr. Gajaga. It's a pleasure to be here to represent the Gambian Cycling Association. I'm a veteran cyclist. I'm an old man, but still on it. That shows you that.
But you still look very active. Apart from the beer, I can still say.
I started competing in 1984, and that was from Sibanor to McCarthy Square. And then from there, the following year, they took us to Buyam. So, but by that time, cycling was too big. I can tell you, from Sibanor all the way to McCarthy Square, people used to be like, both sides used to be packed.
Yes,
especially
of the road.
Of the road.
Yeah.
Especially some of them, when they hear the silence, they used to think the Jawara is coming. So they'll go and make the kankurang and everything, and animbara, So when they say, they used to help us with water as well, because like our water bottle at that time, okay, it's small. And the Red Cross that used to follow us, They never used to have water to give us. So we say thank you to the people of the village that used to take fetch water from the well and supply us with water. Because we used to start at 2 o'clock. And you know that time
the sun is
scorching,
yeah,
you know, scorching hot. So, and then from there, sub 2, are you ready? We make a line. All right, you head to McCarthy Square. And we used to have this man called Moses.
And then the road were very bad.
They were very bad. They were very bad. And the bikes as well, it was steel. Right now, the bikes are carbon fibers. You can lift it with one finger. Because I brought my bike this time. The one that I used to compete in UK.
In the UK,
yeah, I brought it this time. Because the last tour that I organized, the tour of Banjul, I was, you know, they just borrowed me a bumper. So I was really struggling to catch up with the cyclists. So this time I brought my own. Because even though I ride with a club there, and I told them I'm taking the bike to Gambia, because I represent Gambia twice with it. So the bike gonna stay in the Gambia. So it was like, you know, but unfortunately...
Because in one of your pictures, not to cut you short, in one of your pictures, I could see the reaction of the people when you reach the finish line.
Exactly.
Although it's still picture, obviously not video.
That was 1986,
1986. So it appears to be a popular sport at the time.
Very popular sport. Very, very. I'm telling you, right. When they used to announce that there's going to be a cycling next week or next month, my goodness, you can ask your CEO, Mohammed Jah. You know, because I was at Muslim high school, so, and I used to represent Muslim high school, so all them Muhammad used to support me. How can you ride from Buyam to here? People used to question me, but it's all about exercise. Like you train hard, and then, you know, like last year, end of May, I did 100 miles. Okay, when I was young and powerful, my longest mile was 65. But now I'm old, I did 100 miles. That was the London ride. We were about 250,000 riders. So me and Asansen represented Gambia.
Yeah, I could see it in one of your pictures.
Yeah, and then they were...
Tell us how that one works.
That one is called...
Just register and participate? Or?
Yeah, you registered, and then you... they do it, it's like a ballot, and you might be lucky they pick you, but if they don't pick you, you can still go for a charity and ride for charity. But it's the biggest ride in London. So they will close all roads. You know, everything is, central London is shut down that day, all the way to the motorway, because we have to start from Victoria Embankment to Essex, 50 miles, and then 50 miles back, and finish at Tower Bridge. But I found the second one I did, the London Brighton one, which I did in September, which is about 65 miles. I found that one was the toughest, because too many climbs on that one. And by the time we reach before Brighton, there's a hill called the Ditchlin Hill. You ride in here and you can see this it looks like above sea level. The hill is right up there. And when I reached that hill, I see hundreds of cycling came off their bike and were pushing.
They couldn't go?
They couldn't, no. I nearly even did the same thing. Because by the time my legs were aching. Because I climbed so many hills. So now came to the final one, the killer. And I said, oh my God. And there was a lady, she's 60 years old. And she said to me, come on.
Come on.
And you know how men feel. Come on, if a woman can do it, we can do it.
You know
how it goes.
So
and I said to myself,
kind of give you the courage.
And I said to myself, oh my God. So I said, all right then. So I follow her. And then she's dropping me. You know, she's going further and I'm dropping. And I said, oh my God. And she will turn around and say, come on. Then I came. So I said, when I reached to her, I said, listen, excuse me, how old are you? She says to me, I'm 60. I said, wow. She said to me, but I used to be a professional cyclist. She said to me, I live around this area. This used to be my hill. I used to practice here every day.
Okay. That was a difference.
I said, no wonder. I said, all right. She said to me, how old are you? I said, I'm 57. I said, well, that's not bad. So I kept on following her. Then the hill was never ending. So when we reached the top, there's another bend. And I said to myself, if we turn there and I don't see the top of the hill, the end of the hill, I'm going to come off and just do like what the rest of everybody was doing. Because by the time I said to myself, you know what?
You were completely exhausted. Fatigue caught up with you.
So I said to her, listen, I hope that's going to be the final. He said, yeah, when you turn, you'll be fine. I said, I hope so. So when I turned, then I saw the top, and I said, oh, God, thank God. But the good thing is, from there, it's all the way down to Brighton. So we're flying like 150 kilometers on our mileage on the bike. So everybody was flying. So that was the goodest thing. So, and now, they already sent me another email for this London ride. So they're expecting over 500,000 this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite a very interesting journey there. We wish we could expand on this and continue talking about it.
Of course.
But we will have another platform
another
day to discuss about it. But thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
We're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we will talk about the Tour of Banjul, which is going to be held on Saturday, and it is proudly sponsored by Qcell.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, Qcell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. Qcell, the Gambia's trusted network. Step into the Qsports Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Qsports Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot Model 300.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is Qsports, and I am Umutu Kajaka. We were talking about cycling, and Ibra Tal was talking about his cycling journey, how he started, and how interesting it was. Very popular sports, but not so popular now. I think cycling has been overtaken by many sports in the Gambia, but hopefully we can bring it back to life again. But just to add to that popularity issue, I think one way of reviving cycling is to organize cycling competitions. Exactly. And Ibra still is with me in the studio, and this Tour of Banjul, which is going to be on Saturday, and it's proudly sponsored by Qcell, your best GSM network service providers. And Ibra, take us through about the Banjul Tour, which is going to happen on Saturday.
When I was selected as a chairman of the Gambian Cycling Association, and they appealed to me that the cycle is kind of dead here, so I said to them, I will do my level best to revive it. So I contacted a couple of people to help me and to help them to expose them as well. So I started it last year. So I did Tour of Banjul, and I called on the president, H.E. Adamo Barrow, and the rest of the parastatals to be part of it. So we started from the Arch to Bond Road. I know they've got new names now, but I don't know the new names, and then to Hagan, and then back to Independence